Students that can compare and contrast apples and bananas, but struggle when it comes to reading comprehension or taking it to age-appropriate comparing and contrasting. Hi, I'm Hallie Sherman from Speech Time Fun, your speech language pathologist that is here to help you play with ease and confidence when it comes to working with your older speech students. And I'm here today to talk all about comparing and contrasting when it comes to your older speech students. Now, if you've been following me for a while, then I'm all about planning with low prep therapy ideas that are engaging, but also taking the time to teach our students explicitly and to teach them differently. We can't just do the same things over and over again and expecting different results. That's insanity. So many teachers have already tried teaching students to use Venn diagrams, right? That's the go-to strategy. It's not working. So we can't just practice Venn diagrams and expect our students to be successful. We need to show them how to determine what is important to go into those Venn diagrams. So I like to do it with some very simple and easy ways. I always love using videos. Two of my favorite YouTube videos to compare and contrast is Mouse for Sale and the present. And notice here, I don't have a Venn diagram. I have a chart. We need to teach our students by modeling how to take two stories or two videos and to think about what, like pre-reading strategies, what could be similar and different about them. When we know what are some things that all stories have. They have characters, they have settings, they have problems and solutions. So while watching each of these two videos, you can teach your students to pause, think about, hey, did we get to one of these things? And to complete the Venn diagram. You can't just give them this chart and say, okay, now we're gonna fill it out. We have to stop throughout the video and model. I do, we do, you do. Watch me complete this chart, doing Mouse for Sale, and then the present, we can do one together, okay? And then you can take those things and say, okay, how are they similar? How are they different? You can visually see right there, and then you can complete the Venn diagram. If you go straight to the Venn diagram, your students cannot determine on their own. Remember last week we talked about relevant and irrelevant details? Did you check that video from last week? Definitely recommend you checking out that live video on either my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page, because that will teach your students how to determine what is important and not based on a text or a story heard. Let me know in the chat, in the comments, if you've used these two videos. They're great. And can you determine on your own how they are similar? They both have an animal. They both have a child who has a disability or something different about them. It's really great. And you can get through, honestly, both videos in one session. But see, I'd like to model for my students pre-reading strategies. Hey, what do we know about a text? What do we know about a fictional story? Okay. All right. So that was fiction. What about nonfiction? And I like to do this using Jamboard, but you can honestly use a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be fancy to be effective. So I have two texts about, or whether it's a text or I might be just comparing the people in general using background knowledge. The choice is yours. But say I was comparing, because my students are into soccer, Messi versus Pele. I hope I'm saying them correct. And these are nonfiction. This is real people, right? What do we know about them? And have that dialogue. Okay, let's brainstorm. Let's tap into that background knowledge. I know they both play soccer. I know that they might have come from a different team. They might play at a different time. They might play a different position. So brainstorm all those things. We can think about what are some things we can listen for or watch for or read for. And we can make a chart. And then you can read a text or whatever, or a YouTube video about them, and complete this chart, and then take these facts to then fill in a graphic organizer. So you can show them how you take from there and bring it to there, how to visually see and brainstorm what might be important, what might be things that they might have similar and different. Again, say you're comparing Superman and Batman. You're going to talk before you read the text or complete the graphic organizer. You're going to talk about what do we know about each of those things and jot it down. Make a brain dump and teach your student how to take those things and visually see, okay, how do these things go together? And using those categorization type activities to determine what to make a chart to help them to know what to listen for. Again, we can't just give them a Venn diagram or even any graphic organizer and expect them to be successful, okay? So when it comes to comparing and contrasting, we need to teach our students to think about their background knowledge, to determine ahead of time what might be similar, what might be different, and what to listen for, what is going to be important, and to stop throughout a text or a video to see if we listen for those key things and to complete it, and then to visually see in a Venn diagram how they are similar and different. And then once we get there, then we need to teach our students how to answer questions, and you can model it with tons of repetition. So I like doing it with my compare and contrast headphones game. So this is a task card game that I have in my Teachers Pay Teacher store, and students can provide a visual. These are the questions that we'll be asking for compare. These are questions that will be for different, and these are some words to use, or you might see them in the question. So they can self-check and have tons of practice using these different words in their answers. Okay, and they can take each of the different cards, they can read it, or you can read it to them, and then can listen for if they hear those key words like similar, although, however. They're going to listen for those words. I even tell my students, I'm going to read it twice. The first time, you're going to listen for that keyword, and what's going to be a compare and contrast kind of thing. And then the second time, you're going to answer that question. Okay, so it helps them to know what to listen for. Are you listening for the compare? Are you listening for the contrast? Now we're going to listen for the answer. It can be a lot all at once. It can be an overload of auditory information. Okay, again, breaking it down, simplifying, so we can teach our students and show them that they can be successful. So this is just one example of how I use compare and contrast at a higher level. The next way I like to use compare and contrast at a higher level, I have a compare and contrast stories boom deck. I also have a printable version, but this is very scaffolded and has different 2-3 paragraph stories, and I have the Venn diagrams there for you. So you can start with the chart if you wanted to, like on a piece of paper, and then I have all the answers here so students can then drag and drop it. So it teaches them, okay, I pulled out for you all the important things. Can you figure it out where it goes? By going back to the text and using your comparing and contrasting. And again, you might need to scaffold it further and give them that regular chart and them easily visually see what could be similar and what could be different. All right. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, I like to keep my lives here quick, short, easy, and practical ideas that you can use the very next day or next school year. Again, I like using Jamboard, but you can easily use a piece of paper. Teach our students explicitly how to find out what is important and what could be similar and different by doing some pre-reading strategies, such as just having a dialogue about the topic and our background knowledge of either the fictional topic or what you know about fictional texts and their structure. Okay, so do you want a chance to win either my compare and contrast boom deck or my compare and contrast task card game? If you want a chance to win, comment below this video and tell me which one you want to win, and I'm going to pick a winner randomly on Friday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will tag you and I will send you that resource so that you can use it with your students and see them having fun while making progress. All right, until next week. And next week, I'm going to be talking all about literal versus inferential questions. All right, have fun, everyone. And if you are not already signed up, on Saturday is our next virtual speech retreat, Saturday, July 16th. So head to speechretreat.com if you're not already signed up, and you're going to get 6 hours of professional development and tons of fun. We have so many giveaways like this one going on. So get excited. I can't wait to see you there. And again, can't wait to see which resource you would want to add to your SLP toolbox. Take care. Bye-bye.